This is Ghost Rider 615, and this is the final video in a series called Reparations, so that we won't forget to continue with our fight for reparations. I'd like to honor Queen Mother Audley Moore, an African-American civil and human rights leader and black nationalist who allied with such civil rights leaders as Marcus Garvey, Nelson and Winnie Mandela, Rosa Parks, Jesse Jackson, among the few. She also advocated heavily for reparations. But when was the idea of reparations first introduced? During the Revolutionary War. Warner Mifflin advocated for the restitution for freed ex-slaves as early as 1778 in the form of cash payments, land, and sharecrop arrangements. Gary B. Nash writes, he may fairly be called the father of American reparations. So, if it was introduced, reparations, to our country in 1778, and they want us to wait to the end of the presidential elections, I'm told, or with the information that I got, to receive something, how long is too long? How long are we willing to wait for things that people act as though they don't know they owe this to us? You know, the majority, especially Europeans here in this country, have benefited by having generational wealth come into their family some time ago, and it's been passed on ever since. So therefore, you have benefited by that, even though it may be 100 years or 200 years, 300 years later. And so they try to weasel out everything, but what do we expect from people who operate on trickery and deception? Okay? The Indian called the European a man that speaks with a forked tongue. So any promises that the United States makes to black people, I don't take that seriously. I need to see it in my hand, not even in writing. I don't trust you. You don't trust me, okay? And so that's the way that goes. One of the things that I want to talk about also is that I heard in the news where Senator Cortez was talking to a group of black people, and this was at, I believe, an Al Sharpton's conference, and someone in her party said that she changed the tone of her voice to fit the occasion. Well, the fact of the matter is, nobody likes to claim, you know, the people that we keep in a closet, like even Europeans, but I would say almost all people have some type of black blood in them, and Latinos have a higher degree than a lot of other cultures. And so they understand a lot about the black culture, okay? They just keep them in the closet or in the back. But believe me, they are there. And I would like to know Senator Cortez's, not opinion, but does she support reparations or does she not? Because she's of the party that is trying to ban reparations for black people. And when she first got into the Senate, we used to hear a lot from her, and I got used to hearing that, and I haven't heard much from her, and so I'm just shouting that out. Also, on the reparation front, I haven't heard much from Al Sharpton or Jesse Jackson or any of those other people. I guess by this time, everybody's bought and paid for. Okay? So, you know, they're going to go along with whatever the status quo decides for us. Now, Queen Mother Moore left behind a purpose in life to leave a legacy for our children and our children's children. For this reason, we must correct history that at present denies our humanity and self-respect. Now, she left that behind, but she also left some other things behind. And the name of this organization, I guess it looks like M4BL, okay? And they talk about the things that need to be happening when we receive our reparations. And that is an official acknowledgement and apology for harm, public education, or memorial about the harm, compensation to a specific defined group of individuals harmed by the violation, including descendants as well as family and community members of individuals directly targeted for harm who were adversely affected. Now, I think that they're talking about black people, African people. You know, for all you who want to be black Indians, I bet you'll be in that line too. You know, you want to be a black Indian, but if the money goes out, you'll even see white folks in the line, because the fact of the matter is they did that with the Indians. You ever heard of the $5 Indian? That was when Europeans paid $5 to join these tribes. We didn't have to pay because we were slaves of some tribes and we had our own tribes. But moving on with this reparations, action to restore individuals' harm to the position that they were in before the initial harm occurred. Action to stop the present systems, institutions, and practices causing the harm. Changes to laws, institutions, and systems aimed at ensuring that harm will not happen again. See, the biggest part of reparations is the status quo. Europeans don't want to change. That's the hardest part about any institution or either individual. Change. You've gotten so used to, you know, operating a certain way, you want it to stay like that forever. And I keep telling our people that we have to disrupt that. We have to maintain our dedication to getting our just due. It's no more talk about having a study or anything like that. That's bull stuff. We already know you owe us. You know you owe us. And you know, in fact, without talking about owing us, if you just give back the money and the land that you stole. You did it all over the world, but we're talking about America. You didn't give up the 40 acres and a mule. You took money out of the Freedmen's Bureau and actually transferred it to the Freedmen's Bank so that you could steal it. And so, therefore, just that alone, if we took that into consideration, the millions that you took back then, and we charged interest compounded over 100 or 200 years, we'd have our $1 trillion. That's as far as I'm concerned. You know, we're not looking for a handout from you. You don't owe us a handout. You owe us because you stole from us. And a lot of people who feel like we need to let this alone don't respect their elders and the people who died for you to be here. You don't respect what they had to endure for us to be here. In closing this reparations, I will not stop talking about it, but in closing this series, I call to action. Do not forget about reparations and ancestors. Ghostwriter 615 out.